Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Let's Grow Pulling for Monday, September 11th. I hope at some point during today you took a second and just kind of reflected on what this day is, what it meant to those of us who lived it. And if you weren't around then, feel free to ask someone who was and just get a little perspective on how different the world is now versus what it was 22 years in one day ago. It's a different thing. But anyway, we're going to try to have some fun tonight. The season is getting a little long in the tooth. There's not a whole lot left to it. But this particular past weekend, it felt like there was pulling going on everywhere. And Kyle's in a cave. Where are you?
I'm in a parking lot. My bad. I'm outside of Home Depot.
Turn your dome light on if you're in the car.
Maybe.
Anyway, it seemed like there was action all over the place. I mean, you couldn't go, I don't think, depending on the state you were in, you probably couldn't go 100 miles without running into a sled pull going on somewhere. I think for where I wound up at this weekend, I drove near or past, probably within 10 miles of at least two other events. And in the case of one, I was 1,000 feet away from it on my way by. So it's just one of those weekends. But we've got another exciting weekend of stuff coming up. And Kyle, you were due up first for what you guys have going on at Dragway 42. So I want to bring you in here, you and your dome light.
Yeah. Hopefully it's a little bit brighter now. So
we can see your face now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's at least a plus. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we have an event this coming Saturday. 2 tracks, co-sanctioned, the Ohio State Tractor Pullers and Full Pull Productions. So there'll be 7 classes in total, 4 on the one track, 3 on the other.
I know for Ohio State, they're not quite down to it yet. For Full Pull and USA East, are they getting close to a season final at this point?
They're getting close. I think their finale is the second weekend in October.
Oh, okay. They go a lot later then.
Yeah, I believe they have all their classes at that one. Don't quote me on that. But it seems like Ohio goes a little later than most other organizations for some reason. I guess we're not harvesting yet, so people are starting to chop, shelling, and we still have to.
Yeah, I know for where we're at, particularly in Michigan anyway, I mean, we're surrounded on 3 sides by water, and a lot of it winds up going up into the sky and then falling back out anytime after September 1st. You're rolling the dice.
Yeah, exactly. Weather for the weekend so far, I don't like to jinx myself on Monday. It is Ohio, but given the wet summer we've had so far, I'll take it. So it looks good. Little bit of rain early this week. Have the track opened up and get some moisture into it. So all should work good.
You guys, they've got you got the drainage pond at the south end of the sled pull track. Is the sled pull track itself actually tiled? Can it take a little bit of water?
Yeah, there's a tile on each side of the walls.
Nice.
And there is a little bit of a grade there between the start line and the finish line. There's about 6 feet of fall. So it
really is that much?
Yeah. Well, I'd say it's a little less now. We've added some dirt.
I gotcha.
To the whole track, but at the beginning it was pretty serious.
Yeah, I remember being downhill a little bit. I guess I just didn't realize it was quite that much.
Yeah, you guys shoot from the pond here one of these years.
I did years ago.
Yeah, I know. We got to get it again though.
I know. Yeah, I still owe you that. You've been gracious enough to invite me back every single time you guys had something going on. The stupid calendar just doesn't seem to cooperate, but I will get back there again.
Sounds like a plan.
What else has been going on at the facility down there? You guys been having some good drag races going on?
Yeah, so far last weekend there was the bracket finals, which was 7 teams from Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Southern Ohio, but I'd almost call it West Virginia. we all competed. Took the best 50 of our drag racers from the season, and everyone competes, try to collect points at the end of the race. We came in third this year, but it's always fierce competition. And then the weekend after the pull, we have the Street Outlaws Snow Prep Kings show here on Friday and Saturday. So it's going to be a chaotic couple of weeks.
You're going to have your hands full for the next 2 weeks with hopefully some good crowds. I mean, I know the Street Outlaws are definitely a good draw, but I feel like the pulling, every time I see what's going on there and see videos and photos when you guys are doing a sled pull, it feels like it's pretty well attended as well. I mean, there's full crowd around it.
Yeah, it's been gaining traction year over year. Try to add more stuff to it this year. At 5, we're gonna have gates open at 4. At 5, we're gonna have the kids pedal pull. There's 4 classes for different age groups. So try to bring out the kids. There's no free entry for that. First place in each class gets a trophy, which is cool. Kids like trophies.
What's involved with the weekend camping part of it?
Right now it's just primitive camping. So down past the pole track, there's camping spots, but right now it's all primitive. Next season there will be electrical hookups, just where they're located. We have an event on Sunday morning after the pole that's autocross. They start at 7 a.m. and where the electrical hookups for camping. So it's coming. It's coming soon, but for electrical and more than just primitive camping for next season.
And the autocross part would explain why it says at the bottom also no rain date. So
yeah, sort of puts us out. Plus Sundays always pullers like it for a travel day. So
yeah,
but see what happens. No, don't want to jinx ourselves. We don't need the rain date, Charles.
No, we
I'll
don't.
keep telling myself that. I will say we started polls here in 2018, and again, knock on wood, we've been blessed with good weather, and we haven't had Mother Nature rain us out one yet. I know it's coming.
Yep.
It's every promoter's worst nightmare, but as of right now, the weather forecast for Ohio and West Salem looks good. So.
Sweet. Looks like Adam's going to be there Saturday, so you can stick him in the pond on my behalf. He can shoot from down there for a class.
He'll find out. So he was here in June, and I don't know if Jesse's coming or not. And then there's the poll the following day up in Ashland, which is 15 minutes from our facility. So I know the Keener family and Ashton Wooster Drive-In are doing some bonus awards for the 2-wheel drive class between our event and the Ashland event on Sunday. I believe they're taking cumulative distances from the top 5, and each 5 of those pullers gets an additional $500. So
gotcha.
2-wheelers should be good numbers there for sure. There's always good numbers of 2-wheelers at any event. But
I don't know how much Adam likes staying married because he says he's going to stick Tiffany down there in the pond instead.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Mr. Pulltown Net wants to know if there's a campground night party at Dragway 42 because that's really all he's interested in anyway.
It's building. It's not a Pulltown campground yet, but that'll take about another 30 years at least. But we can start it.
You won't need an entire pallet of Busch Light. You can get by with maybe just a case or two.
Busch Light, some music, security guard, and a couple lights, and bring out the party vehicles. We can make it happen.
See, he's already on it. He already knows. He's ready. And it looks like Adam's going to chase those guys up to Ashland. Ashland's a neat place to go to a pull. A little bit different atmosphere there.
Yep. My goal is if I get everything put away, I'm going to try and make Ashland myself. Maybe my last pull as a spectator for the year too.
Nice. What's the plans for 2024? Anything starting to shape up yet, or a little too early for that?
Little early. We have a couple things in the works. Can't be announced yet, but still pretty early. Planning on obviously drag racing from when the snow stops till when the snow flies, so April through November, and a pull in June and September again, a spring and a fall.
Gotcha. Does OSTPA kind of do similar to what some of the organizations do? It's not you're established with those weekends. You kind of have like a first right of refusal on being there again.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and with the fairs, it's hard. I'd like to get closer in July just because the weather's better in July than it is in the spring and the fall. But with the fair schedule, it's very difficult to. They've been there forever, so you can't.
Yeah.
They're all pretty much gridlocked.
Yep, I get that. That's the maybe the beauty and the downside of being affiliated with a state that actually has such a very healthy, long-lived, and very strong program, going back that far.
Yeah, I don't remember how many events they had on the schedule for this year, but between Ohio State and the regional level of NTPA, there's a lot of events in Ohio, Indiana, and Pennsylvania for sure.
Yeah.
Just on the, I'd say, regional and state level. So it's difficult to not conflict with another long-standing event.
Yeah, I hear you there. What are you guys looking at? I think maybe it was on here and I missed it. Let me actually get rid of that so we can read the whole thing.
Admission prices.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I was looking to see if it was on there, but
adults are $25, and kids 12 and under are $10. It's free open pits. We'll have food vendors. We'll have beer garden, and parking is obviously free as well. But
good for you guys. I'm gonna stick my neck out on something and say, good for you guys charging $25 to get in, because these days of charging $5 to see a caliber program like this are just flat out over, and it's going to take revenue like that to be able to continue to pay what it costs to have a show like this. And then if you want bigger purses, frankly, it's going to take more. So
it's difficult. It's not something that we would like to do. It's across the board for us at the facility. There's just been additional expenses over the past, well, everyone's seen it over the past 4 or 5 years.
Yep, for sure.
3 especially. There's sanctioning agreements that have went up, sleds, the guys pulling the sleds with fuel, everything's just going up. So
yep, and it's maybe more so difficult, again, for you guys as a promoter, because you don't have that fare to piggyback off of. So maybe you pull people through the gate as alternative, it's entertainment. You're there for the sled pull, and that's what you're there for.
Yep. So on Friday night we do have KOI dirt drags, and we're having a test and tune on the drag track as well. So there's some action for Friday night as well to come out for the whole weekend, and then obviously pulls on Saturday and head home on Sunday. But try to make it a weekend event with some stuff going on Friday night.
So you could theoretically stick around, watch the autocross on Sunday, then go up to Ashland Sunday night. I mean, you get a little taste of everything in one weekend.
Yeah. Get a full plate. We have racing on Thursday night as well. So if you want 4 days of stuff if you're bored, we'll make you.
All right, well, hang on. I'm going to text my boss right now and tell him I quit. No, I'm kidding.
I don't want to do that just yet, but.
No, I'm not going to do that. He's been very good to me. So, yeah, not going to happen. But, well, good deal. Sounds like you got a full weekend to keep you busy for sure.
Oh, yeah. They're busy until the snow flies, and then start working on 24 schedule again. Finalize that to get it posted before PRI is the usual goal.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you guys have racing every week, or?
Yeah, they have. From mid-April to early November, we usually have stuff on Fridays, Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays. When we get into the heavier months, we have our this Thursday is the last one of the season, but it's we call it Thursday Thunder. It's like an entry level for drag racers who are just starting to learn. So it's more than just a test and tune. It teaches about or Charles can maybe help with that, but it teaches about bracket racing, dial-in. Not everyone has the budget to have the fastest car at the track, and you don't have to have the fastest vehicle at the track in order to win a race. So,
right, it's a good environment, I think, and a good program to have too, because there's so many people who they'll show up to a place, and if they've never been there before, they've never done this before, they don't know where to go, they don't know who to talk to, they don't know where the scales is or why it's important, they don't know how to get teched in, they don't even know how to stage, and they get, frankly, they get shy about it. They get nervous that everybody's gonna think I'm an idiot because I don't know this stuff, and they don't realize that there's a whole welcoming, open arms community out there. Like, no, we want you to learn. We want you to come out and do this and try it. Don't be scared or fear of people passing judgment on you. Come out and do it. We're happy to show you how to do this.
Yep. Is that an NHRA thing, or is that something you as the drag strip does?
Just us as a drag strip. Cool. We're actually right now currently we're IHRA with pretty much the same set of rules. Obviously, NHRA, IHRA are the two long-standing sanctioning, but it's just something that we do at the track. And then obviously Friday night just test and tune. So
nice. I'll turn the MSTPA guys back on. Any questions you guys have for Kyle, throw it at him.
We there. Hey Kyle, my question is, man, is your drag strip the one that I just saw a semi doing a burnout at? Did you guys do a video if there was a semi doing a burnout at your drag strip?
I don't believe so. That may have been one of the videos that maybe Adam had posted. There's a track about an hour and a half from us called Coonley. They're the ones that started the uphill semi drags in the not the United States, but in Ohio.
That's what I was just asking these guys. I said, wonder if that's where they did that video.
No, that's Coonley Brothers Trucking, or Kim bought a local drag strip in northern Ohio, about an hour and a half from us.
Gotcha.
And he's invested a lot into that facility and built the uphill drags, and they're going to be doing sled pulling here at in October as well. So there's Ohio racers are truly blessed with the amount of facilities that we have here in Ohio. As of right now, I believe there's close to 10 day-to-day operations drag strips just in the state of Ohio. I know there's some in other states where Bandimere, Colorado, I know people that race there, and the announcement of that closing, the next closest track for them to go to is 7 hours away. Yeah. We have a lot of our racers have within 2.5 to 3 hour radius can hit 7 to 8 tracks. So
heck yeah.
Guys, good all the way around. The state of Utah, I mean, you got Bonneville Salt Flats out there in a very healthy motorsports community. There is no longer a drag strip open in the entire state of Utah anywhere.
Wow.
Holy smoke.
Yeah, so.
And we're getting a new one here in Missouri.
Yeah, like I said, we're getting a new one in Missouri. So.
Is that the one that Steve's building?
The one at I-70.
Yeah. And let me guess, that burnout video you saw the same guy hooked to a sled on Saturday night, didn't you?
Okay, Ryan. I was going to ask you. That was what I
yes.
is. I think it
Joe
was
Bear.
that Ford truck.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, that was him.
Wasn't at our place, but
no, I think that was in Onaway.
Okay.
Okay, that's what it was from. Yeah, that was probably.
Joe had a pretty good weekend in Onaway.
2 seconds, correct?
Yeah. Yep, brought home some hardware.
Yeah, that stuff's cool. I'm I'm gonna hopefully get up to Coonley when they have this fall one, because I've heard it's crazy.
Kyle, just build a hill.
You'll get your eyes opened. I promise.
Just build a hill, Kyle, and pave it and set it up.
We'll do it. Maybe. I know our family's invested a lot in there, and I know Kim has invested a lot in that facility, and maybe we'll just let Kim do his uphill drag.
Well, Brett Roberts, that's going to be on with us from Bedford. He's into the truck pulling thing, and he's got a couple of those trucks from Jerseyville, and they're pretty much set up to.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah,
that's on the way.
That would be that one.
He was at.
Yeah, that truck actually pulled at Buckner at that MSTPA Outlaw show Saturday night.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe's been kind of a regular this year with as well as the Zimmerman family with that truck class.
That truck class was pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
And by the looks of the smoke as he went up the hill after that was all over, kind of feel like took a turbo with him when he did that.
Yeah, that
Short of piston.
didn't look the best at the end there.
Couldn't have been too bad, though, if he was back together next weekend.
Well, if it was just a turbocharger, they probably had that fixed within a couple hours once it cooled down.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen up and down the way a lot.
Wasn't it? Well, one of the the Texas whip or the little whip, one of them had a motor.
One of Don's trucks.
Yeah, they had to put it completely together.
Yep. Pulled the motor in the pits and swapped.
Ran that night.
Yeah. I saw on someone's pages that looked like up in Sandwich they were changing a turbo on one of the pros in between.
Connie's pulled the motor, hour and a half, in and out and running.
Yeah. That's crazy. But
here's one from Andy Leonard. Do promoters carry insurance for rainouts to cover some expenses such as sled rental? Some do, yes.
some, yeah.
I think all of us here would probably respond and say the smart ones do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it.
You're gambling.
Yeah.
So should we recap once more?
Yeah. So I guess this coming Saturday, September 16th, Dragway 42, West Salem. 7 classes, 2 tracks, OSTPA and full pull productions. Gates open at 4. Pulls start at 6:30. The kids' pedal pull is at 5 p.m. And there's free open pits, pit access. So,
How many are you expecting to have, Kyle?
Puller numbers?
Yep. Do you have any idea where you're at for numbers yet?
I'd say I'm looking for 90, ideally. We'll see if that happens. Two-wheelers, I'd say there's going to be pretty close to 20 light pros, depending on a lot of times we can pull some out of Pennsylvania. So there could be 10 to 15 to 20 there. Semis have been tough this year in the state. There's a lot of them have been out. Then there's been some unfortunate breakage, and they just went back to the shop for the winter. But I'd still say there's probably potentially 10 semis.
Good.
Being closer to
10
Pennsylvania
semis is a bad night.
Either.
No. I mean that would be a good night. I would say 6 to 10.
I think it should
that
be
caliber of pro stock single big cube single charger semis. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good night.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
And then
Getting
there's
8
also,
August and some of that crew to come out and
there's 2 6 trucks, which there could be 10 there. Hot Farms 15, Classic Supers between 10 and 12. So should be a good night. So if you're within the area of West Salem, come on out.
One of these years, I'd like to make it out there too. One of the events, if it's drag racing or pulling, one of the two, I'd come out.
We'll figure something out in June next year.
Yeah.
June's the 2-day pull, and last year or this beginning spring of this year, we did dirt drags on the Thursday and 2 nights of sled pulling. So I'd like to try and incorporate some kind of a either semi show and shine or just any vehicle show and shine. So there's some stuff in the works.
Be all right.
Got the real estate to do it, that's for sure. All right.
Well,
thank
thanks,
you, Kyle.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll,
you.
we'll let you go. Have a
See
good
you,
night.
buddy. I hope
sir.
it goes well.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Later.
All right. I think our next guest is late, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Brad Summers, but I know sometimes.
Yep.
A lot of times in this show, when we schedule him, he winds up being later anyway.
He's in that group up there.
Right there.
Yeah, I'm right
He's
here.
right here.
Oh,
Damn.
He's off camera.
Yeah.
I
All
made
right.
it in. Yeah, we have Caden with us tonight. Teeman, he's our announcer for MSTPA. And then Jason Goody, he's another one that works with us here at the Holden Tractor Pull. Started out with us here 9 years ago when this all started. So we like to think, we like to have Caden around because he is the mouth of MSTPA. That's no disrespect or anything. I'm not saying that in a bad way. He does a good job for us.
Yes, he does.
So anyway, Caden. anything?
Right on. Hey, first thing, Ryan, from Saturday night. Hey, Garrett, how are you, buddy? Hey, Ryan, do you have pictures or anything of the outlaw side when the orange sled stopped that kid from hitting the wall?
I do. I have not edited them yet. I haven't checked to see whether or not how well they came out. I looked at them on in the viewfinder after I took them, but I didn't have a chance to actually play with them at all.
If we'd have had a GoPro directly on us, he was gonna end up in my lap.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I saw Mom's video.
Yeah.
That
I tell
happens.
you what, that surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, that Buckner track on that West Side track does not like the Paulson family.
Oh,
Nope.
So
2 years ago.
Daly's pass was eerily similar.
yep. Man, it was. We thought for sure that he was going to end up in us, but man, did a heck of a job.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he reacted. I told one of my coworkers this morning in the office. They asked if anything had happened, anything interesting had happened, and I told them that 16-year-old kid reacted like he'd been pulling for 40 years.
Yep.
Now, I don't know. I didn't talk to him after the fact. He may have been rattled. He may have been shaken. Sure as hell didn't show it.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. He kept telling everybody, I'm good. We're good. Did a heck of a job for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right, guys. Hey, real quick, I know that while we're on here tonight, I want to thank these two knuckleheads that are on both sides of me here, two of the biggest promoters and biggest assets to this Holden truck and tractor pull that we have. I've been part of it for all 9 years. The MSTPA now full-time announcing for them. This is my third year. Yep. Man, the family of pullers, and especially getting started here in Holden, it's been an amazing pull, and it's because of these two right here. So I just wanted to thank them and actually letting me be part of this. So September 16th, this weekend, this Saturday, in memory of Mr. Bruce White from right here in Holden. It's kind of crazy, but there's quite a few in the MSTPA that are all from right here in Holden. Pretty close-knit family, the entire group. It's fun to watch, but it's always a huge pull. So it's been a chore. We'll say that. but it's going to get pulled off, and we're going to make it happen.
Seems like anything worth doing is worth doing the hard way. It takes a lot of effort to put on anything like this. Anybody who's on the screen right now certainly knows that story.
For sure.
Where is Holden, Missouri?
So Holden, Missouri, 50 Highway. We're in between Lee Summit, Warrensburg. You go south 131, about 10 miles, if that. So we're in between Lee Summit and Warrensburg. So little town of hillbillies that can put on one heck of a show.
So you're close enough to pull that Kansas City audience then.
So, yeah, some. They don't have two-wheel drives on
No,
there.
that's the flyer.
That is a flyer. Hey, one thing we want to point out, it's on that flyer that didn't get put on there, that our two-wheel drives will be there as well.
By two-wheel drives blown, or is that like the two-wheel drive pro stock gas? So 485 and
Yeah, naturally
Yeah,
aspirated.
naturally,
or,
yep.
Or blower. No, sorry, that's modified truck.
That's mod.
I'm thinking wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no blowers.
Naturally aspirated.
Natural aspirated.
Two-wheel drive.
guys like Starcher and
Archer.
Yep.
okay.
Peter.
Teeter.
Yep. Those
Yeah,
guys.
we're gonna have some of the NK pullers too, like Jesse Davis. He's bringing some folks with him from Kansas. So
Josh Rail.
He's got his back together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kit Carter.
Kit Carter.
So might be up unless he's showing.
Yeah.
For the classes listed for BPM classes, I mean D2, D3, that's going to be antique tractors, farm stock, and then stock diesel pickups. If somebody wants to get out of the stands and out on the track for this, what are they looking at really kind of as a baseline in terms of rules for those?
Okay, so stock diesel. I mean, here in Holden, we hook to that sled. All you got to do is make sure that you have the proper safety equipment on the back, that it's not going to snap, go bang, and I'm going to send you into the crowds. But these guys, they're running at their own risk. If you think that your truck is the beast, as long as you have the right hitch and everything else, man, come hook that thing up. Because I will say, in 9 years of watching this, I've seen some boys basically tuck their tail and leave because they thought they had it, and boy, that sled said, "Nope, don't think so."
Welcome to the Drive Shaft Show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Or
Absolutely.
Chevrolet tie rods.
Yes. The dance floor, you mean?
Yeah.
See that Mike just said from Checkered Flag Photography. He'll be there.
We're going to have, Mike Muslim will be here with Checkered Flag Photography. He follows.
Mike does a terrific job.
He does.
He
a good
does
job. Yeah.
amazing work.
Nobody does candids like Mike. Nobody.
How's my steering?
The BPM.
So 9 years, and what's the secret to a successful show for 9 years?
These two right here, keeping everything in line. I promise you guys, I've short time been with MSTPA, watching the pulling world. I come from, chasing that finish line, watching this whole pulling world, man. If you've got a good group, man, things happen, and it goes smooth. With as many hooks as we usually have in Holden, the iron that we do have in Holden, man, we're never super late. The only complaint that anybody in this town has is the fact that they can hear my loud mouth clear up to the school.
Moisture
PA
management.
works good.
Moisture management in the track will be. It was key last year. Last year, probably missed the water by a couple thousand gallons. We probably should have had a little more water in it last year. So depending on what moisture management will be.
Mr. Perfect's being humble here. He loves a good track.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been down there once, and it's a good track.
Yeah,
That's another big key to a good
absolutely.
show. You gotta be able to build a track, and them
Yep.
guys, they do it down there. They do a good job.
Thank you,
So
Brent.
Yeah,
I will
appreciate
say
that,
I will
Brent.
say that. So, but
Was this back in the cage crawling days, or was this the door slammer days?
both?
I pulled 2.6 trucks on that track. Jason knows who's there. I pulled
say, I
2.6
saw you,
diesel
Brett, with a
pickups on that
2.6
track,
truck.
and I pulled my Pro Farm on there. I didn't get down there with 4.1, but pulled Pro Farm down there. So no, it's good. They do a great job, and you can always tell when they put everything into it, and they actually give a crap about what they're doing, and they do down there. And there's quite a few MSTPA shows that most all the tracks are pretty good shape. So I will say that they do a good job. So
I got a private message. Will the Holden Pull have a 3,000 RPM or open farm class tractors? I would say that is a yes for the farm stock in the afternoon.
Yeah. So the brush pullers, they're going to pull in the afternoon, and then once it hits, 7:00, we'll do our MSTPA show. Sometimes, the brush pullers will run into the MSTPA show. Our goal is to try and eliminate that. We're going to do the brush pullers, try and have them completely done, do MSTPA. So it will be right in the afternoon. We'll try and have that.
But brush pullers don't have an RPM limit.
I don't think they have an RPM limit. That's
So
what
it depends on if he's asking about MSTPA or brush pullers. Our MSTPA heavy profile would be 3,000 over 466 cubic inches and 3,500 at 466 cubic inches for our heavy pro fields. But if it's BPM brush pullers, I don't know. They don't have an RPM limit for brush pullers in the heavy farm classes.
Okay, I'll respond to him.
sweet.
Yeah, that or you can have him. You can have him message one of us.
Yeah,
Give him mine.
Yeah. Have him message myself or Caden. We can further answer those questions. The reason we're doing the BPM starting at 2:00, wanting to be done at 5, is they ran into a sled problem last year. Their sled got sold, and so Donnie Bungart and I, Bungart Motorsports, got our heads together, and he's going to bring one of the mini sleds up in the afternoon, along with one of the big sleds, so we can pull some of these smaller Division 2, Division 3 tractors. And we have a lot of them in the area, and we'd like to make sure everybody gets a chance to pull and hold them. And so we'll run those brush puller classes in the afternoon, big heavy tractors on the heavy sled, and then the smaller tractors on that mini sled of Donnie's. And then at 7:00, we'll start MSTPA, and we're going to put a track right down the middle. We've got enough room for 2 tracks, but we're actually going to make 1 track down the middle this year. We're actually going to make it a little rough on Jason to see if he can duplicate a middle track out of 2 outside tracks.
2 outside tracks.
So we'll find out if that'll work for him. But that's where we're at on the brush pullers time frame versus MSTPA.
Cool.
Fair enough.
You was talking about that earlier. You was talking about that street diesel class and all them yahoos jumping in there and seeing what they got. I was one of them yahoos at one time, and now look what happened.
Brent, I gotta agree with you, man. Last
You
year,
officially fell down the rabbit hole.
Well, I tell you what, high school, man, we started pulling diesel pickups. I had a 99 Cummins in high school, and I was one of them. Oh yeah, I've got it. And honestly, we did okay with it, but it just, me and my buddy, we just kept, and it cost me more than a U-joint in the drive shaft in the long run, I'll promise you.
You've never grown out of that, though, have you?
So, but no, that's always fun. That's always fun class to watch, and I don't know. Some people may not, but I love staying and watching them things, and just, I don't know. I mean, I'm probably kind of mean. I just sit there and laugh and shake my head. I'm the old guy now, but man, I tell you what, that's how it all starts. That farm stock tractor and them diesel pickups. It's all downhill from there.
well,
I just wish your kid could have announced when you're pulling diesel pickups, because that would have been funny. Not gonna lie, when he grabbed the mic at Burlington Junction that one time, and the other guy says, "Well, how's Dad gonna do?" He goes, "Not very good." He's like, "Well, why not?" He needs more parts.
Yeah. There's something about a turbo or something. I don't know. They do pay attention, but I mean, they're honest, So
Yep.
Goody, can we put your kids on the mic when you make passes on Saturday night?
Who you asking that?
Brent.
No, I'm asking Jason.
Oh, I don't have no kids.
Hey,
I
we
can
don't
say
know about
he
that.
has no kids, man.
Lucky guy.
That he knows
Well, he
about.
doesn't have any that he knows of. But
No.
That he knows of. Right.
I got 2 or 3 adopted ones, maybe.
He brings 2 or 3 young ones every week.
Well, that's fine. We can give them a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't get any Father's Day cards in the mail, do you, Goody?
No, I haven't yet.
None
haven't
that
yet.
he knows of.
Yeah, I haven't yet. Or lawsuit.
Man, I'm sure glad they let me on here before you got done.
They won't show up because he keeps changing his address.
Hooks the hitch to it and everything. Goes right on down the street, right?
So, fellas,
Yep.
how did you guys do? How did you guys end up faring on Saturday night? Jason, where'd you end up?
I ended up third, just a few inches behind second. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Story of his life.
We ended
Hey,
up.
I know the feeling. Don't feel bad.
Right.
We ended up 4th in our class, Ryan, in that light limited super on our side. So
That's a pretty stout class.
that's a very stout class.
Yeah.
I've been asked many times, why did you do what you did?
And you answer, I have no idea.
I say that a lot.
It was pressure, pure pressure.
Yeah. I have a driver that wanted to jump up into that class in the light pro field. So, so that's where we're at. We're having fun with it though. It's a lot of fun. There's good trackers in there, good competition, and
Good.
so we like it.
Good. How long have you been running light limited?
This is my 2nd year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
'cause I started out-
it's been a minute since I've seen you go down the track. So
Yeah, probably last time was probably out at McLeod, Kansas.
mhm.
About 2 or 3
And if
years.
I remember right, it was probably in 2020. I think that was the last year I was able to get down there. 2021.
Did they COVID out in 20, or did they have a full?
I don't know. Maybe it was 2021.
Could have been 21. I think it was 21.
We had pro
Okay.
fields up there.
Yeah, we had live pro fields out there. Yeah. So yeah, we jumped in there last year and played in a little bit, but we got a little bit more serious this year with it. And I don't know if we're serious enough yet because it's just,
Some of those boys are pretty serious.
yeah. So it's fun.
Bobby, to answer your question, I don't have a clue. They surprised me with it last year. You guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Like I said, I chased that finish line in circles, and they let me pull in that 10.5 hot stock class with a speed limit and everything else. Y'all, when I got off that tractor, my legs were shaking like I had just taken my wing car at 140 mile an hour. First thing, though, I got to admit, first thing my wife looked at me, she said, "Don't even ask."
See that's where you went wrong. See, I didn't ask.
you see the name behind me, right? Yeah, there's a reason that Mama's got her name up there.
So that brings up a funny thing. Brett Berg let Dean Hollicky drive the mod on Saturday night, and I didn't realize that was going on. I was down at the finish line, and here come Brett strutting down in his crew shirt, and I said, "You're just an instigator, aren't you?" Then Mama was behind me, and she's just shaking her head, and Brett said, "Maybe there'll be 2 in the trailer next year."
Oh, the Potters.
Geez, Dean Hollicky, he'll be as bad as me. He jumps from one thing, next semi, next 4 ones, and if he goes to that, I mean, he'd be like me. Just change it up every year, change classes.
Yeah, there's truth to that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That tractor's hard to beat, ain't it, Jason?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It kinda is.
If you keep it together, I mean, I know the feeling. Trust me.
It's a little simpler to work on, but yeah, I still
The
enjoy
ride
it.
is
Still
hard
like
to
that
beat.
truck. Still like that truck.
Jason, you still have that truck, right? You haven't gotten rid of it,
yes.
right?
No, it's in complete rebuild right now, so it should be out next year.
Attaboy.
Sweet.
So I was told at the state fair anyway. It'll be out next year.
Sweet. Any further questions for the MSTPA guys? No further questions, Your Honor.
I was gonna say, you want to do?
I have one. I've got one. This is for all three of you. What's the one piece of advice you'd give to a promoter who's just getting started? Or Brent. Brent's got what 3 under his belt now, but he's still young.
I've got
as
a
far as
long list of
promoting
them
goes.
right here.
So, Brent, let me ask you, that list you just held up, are those your sponsors?
Those are, yeah.
Yeah. See that right there. That's what I'm going to tell a promoter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Sponsors.
there's
Even
yeah, and then I've got a
even
few on the back, but those are, yeah.
Yeah, even if that business can't give that whale money, go get every little mom pop. It doesn't matter, because somebody wants to be part of this. Get your $50, get your $75 that they can afford. You know, because they want recognized as well. It's, you know, their business, their hometown as well. Don't be afraid to go ask them, because they're going to be even, you know, they're going to be happy in a pig and crap, man. You go ask them.
Yeah.
You know, to let them be part of that. That's the biggest thing.
I've had more people mad that we didn't come ask them after the show was over.
Yep.
Hey, how come you didn't come see
Yeah.
us? How come you didn't see us? We'd give you $200 or we'd give you $100 or whatever, you know. And so
Yeah.
I've had more people mad at us that we didn't go ask or didn't get their help or appreciation or whatever down the road than they were for shelling out $500 to $1,000 or whatever. So.
Yeah, and it all adds up, and it adds up faster than you think. I mean, you know, you're out there beating the bushes, and you're like, man, I got X amount of dollar show I got to pay for, and you know, and you think you're, you know, but when you get home at night and you start adding up them 250s and hundreds and 50s, all that stuff, you're like, oh hell, I've got you know $5,000 already or whatever, you know, just for throwing numbers. But I mean, and honestly, a lot of my sponsors, you know, as we've progressed with the show and we're trying to build it, and you know, and if you've got, you know, something to give back to or whatever to help somebody out, whatever you're doing with your proceeds, if should you have any, you know, I mean, a lot of my sponsors have given more every year. I mean, I've got sponsors that gave me $500 the first year and maybe $1,000 last year, the year before. Now we're up $1,500. You know, I mean, you kind of gotta. I mean, you keep going to them people, and you know, if you do grow your show, you know, you try to make it better. You say, hey, you know, we're doing a little more this year, or we're just trying to bring people to the community and bring people to town, and you know, support everything and whatever. And if you're, you know, say, hey, you know, could we get another, you know, would you be interested in doing a little more for us? You know, since we're doing more show or more, you know, donation to whatever cause, or, I mean, you know, just tell them how it is, lay it out and explain what you're doing and why you're doing it. And, you know, other than just, hey, you know, give me $500, you know, or whatever. I mean, you got to kind of, it's a little bit, you got to sell it, you know, you got to sell your show. So.
Well, some of those little businesses that can give you the $50 and $100, you know, the cool thing about that is you go somewhere, buy some free merchandise to throw out. Everybody loves that free stuff. You know, you go buy that free stuff. That's a chance to get the crowd into it. You know, that's kind of the reason that, you know, these guys brought me on board, is I love to get the crowd into it. You know, because when the crowd's involved, the crowd's having fun, the pool's much better. You know, so if you're throwing free stuff out brought to you by that small business.
You know, make sure you got plenty of help. I mean, you can't ever have too much help. And we was in Buckner the other night. I had a boy up there come to me. He says, hey, can you boys need help in holding? I said, sure. You know, come on down. He said, well, I can be this help, you know.
Take them
for a while. But yeah, that's another thing, because you can wear your help out so quick.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, you got to appreciate them, and they're out there all day with you and all night and help them do this. So make sure you got plenty of help. That's another thing.
Yeah, you don't want to turn anybody down. I mean, you know, because you know you people come and go or whatever. I mean, that we've pretty well been our our main shell or skeleton is pretty much the same. But we've been really fortunate. We've got lots of good help, and man, if you can get a few pullers involved to help you,
Mhm.
I mean, and whoever's hometown or whatever it is, maybe they don't help, but you're putting your promoter, but you don't pull. I tell you what, have some pullers helping you, 2 or 3 maybe even that kind of know how things roll, that go to these polls every weekend and kind of see, we all learn from each other's, mistakes, and we all make them, and we can all improve how we run our show or how we work our track or whatever, to make things more efficient and speed it up or whatever. It don't hurt to have a little bit of that knowledge in your group. And I've been to pulls where no pullers are involved, and I mean, hats off to anybody that wants to put one on, because that's great. But I tell you what, it does help a little bit, I think, and so that's one secret I would tell you. But
food vendors you got to have good food. I mean,
huge. Yeah, you got to have food.
I mean, it's just another thing. I mean, you look at me, I like to eat, but
I don't think I've missed a meal in a while.
But anyway, we do ourselves here in Holden. We have the first. Last year was the first glazed donut pulled pork sandwich.
You Ryan, you heard that right.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Can we please repeat that slower and louder?
Glazed donut pulled pork sandwich.
Phenomenal.
Brent, make notes. You got 4 days.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's real easy. Just take that glazed donut, cut it in half, and then put that pulled pork in there. And oh boy, you got the sweet and salt and everything right there.
Yeah, that'd be
about
I've had burgers like that.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah, you got to have food, because I mean, people. Yeah, you got to have food.
It's a meal in and of itself. It covers all 4 food groups: sugar, salt, starch, and grease.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
And I'm kind of biased, and I'm going to throw this in there, but then you have Coltrane Energy come to your pool, and we get everybody jacked up on Coltrane, and it's a heck of a night, and we can last all night.
Boy, Ron was bouncing off the freaking walls on Saturday night. How many of them did we actually drink?
You had one? I said, man, Ryan and Coltrane keep me well stocked. Speaking of, man, I want to give them a huge shout out for that, because they've taken care of some organizations this year. A new company out in Missouri, made right there in Missouri. They've been a blessing, man, to this whole pulling world here lately.
I would agree.
Yeah, they
Somebody
have.
take a
They've jumped in.
screenshot of what's of that comment on the screen.
It's important right there.
Very important.
File that away. Doug, take that screenshot. Use that in some marketing down the road.
Absolutely.
We got sponsors that's been with us since we started. Han Farms, Han Seed and Fertilizer, the City of Holden, F&C Bank, Central Bank, Park City, Maui Ag.
Assured Pest Management.
Yeah, my company been at it. So Jason Goody, Goody Seed. We've had sponsors since this thing started 9 years ago, and it's you just go to them, and they're more than willing to support it every year.
How many new sponsors did you bring in this year?
Not many. Most of them are
just our regulars.
Most of them are just our regulars.
Yeah.
Well, shout out the new ones. Shout out the new ones. Give them.
We just did one of them, and that's Coltrane.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Mershon Farms.
But Mershon Farms
out of Buckner. They started with us last year, and they're again sponsoring again this year. So appreciate that sponsorship.
Well, and there are a couple new businesses like Bush's Barbershop and the Nail Hive. They threw money in Liberty Link. This will be the first year they're doing like the internet that we're on now. They've been a huge asset to the city of Holden for sure.
AgPower does a lot in our area.
Yep.
And Brent, that with tractors and pull off tractors to work
track equipment
with, track equipment. AgPower does a lot in our area. I mean, they're shuffling tractors and gators everywhere every week to help out.
all polls.
All the pulls.
Yep, every pull.
Big shout out to them.
Did you get that Magnolia Meat Company on board yet?
No, I asked Cole about that, but I don't think I got very far.
Come on, Shackelford, get with the program. Thank you, by the way, for bringing me those T-bones, by the way.
Yep. You bet.
Twice.
Well, you think I'm kidding, Cody?
No, didn't he bring him to the last poll and you forgot it?
No, well, Cole did, yeah, and we were never able to link up.
That's why I said twice.
Yeah, so second time was a charm. Jason brought him for me on Saturday. They look amazing.
Yeah.
Brent's going incognito. You see that?
Yeah.
He can go with phone light.
I'm trying to decide if my what the heck here. Not even smart enough to run my own phone.
I was going to say his ring light died.
There we go. Sorry. Back.
There we go.
It
Again, guys, yep, this weekend, the 16th, down at the Holden Industrial Park on 58. Literally, you come into the city of Holden, and you got two roads that intersect, 131 and 58. It's about a block off each one of them. So to the west and north of the intersection. So MSTPA, we start at 7 o'clock. Brush pullers, we're going to start at 2. Try and be done by 5:30. That way, guys can get the center of the track ready to go. And we'll kick things off because we've only got MSTPA's only had 3 left. We got Holden, El Dorado Springs, and then Archie. And I know you guys have been around the pulling scene quite a bit, and man, some of these classes we got some points races, the championship races. It's pretty dang close. So it's been fun to watch.
Who's your tightest race right now?
Actually, this is nuts, man. It's our 10-5 hot stock class.
Really?
Yeah, there's 4 of them that are all within 6 to 7 points of each other. Yeah, I mean, do what?
Pro stock pickups are close.
Yeah, pro stock trucks is close, but I mean, there you look at pro stock trucks, and I think the top 5 are all pretty close to each other. You look at that 10-5 hot stock class, and it goes down to the first 8 spots. That with 3 pulls left, it's still anybody's game if somebody breaks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or DQs.
Yeah,
or disqualified.
Yeah, them guys are on speed limit, and so they're bucking up there at that 12.5 mile an hour, and boy, just a little thing will just pop that horn. We had one the other night in Buckner.
Yeah.
They've been behaving themselves pretty well on that horn, but we had one the other night that got it. So
and he was up there. I mean, I think he was 3rd in points, and yep. That's the thing when people, we talk about that 10-5 hot stock class. You watch these other classes, it's the let it fly, throw the hammer forward. That 10-5 hot stock class, you got to pay attention to your mile an hour. You got to pay attention to if you're out at that 150-foot mark, because if you blow the horn before it, yeah, you're not disqualified. But after that 150-foot mark, you blow it, yeah, you're disqualified. And then know that right time to literally throw that hammer down and get as far as you can. Like I said, last year in Holden, they let me drive one from Blaine Griggs that Mike Lefevre owns now this year. And man, oh man, that was an experience I will never forget.
It's tough when you're going even anywhere above 10 miles an hour. It's tough to play that game with it. If you've got a speed board out there, there's a pretty good chance 12.5. It's gonna show you 12.6. You're already doing 12.7 by the time you find out about it.
Yep.
Way too late. I mean, you really have to be on your game. I worked with Indiana Pulling League this past weekend for their season finals. They do a 15 mile an hour King of the Hill. That's real tough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now isn't that 10-5 class? Aren't they basically just a light pro field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're heavy.
Heavy. Okay.
yeah, heavy. Some of them
Heavy. Yeah.
We actually keep our speed board off in their class, so
I like it.
So they can't see.
they can't see
They
the
can't see the
speed.
speed.
Yeah. We
I
make
like
it
it.
it's a driver's class.
I remember the days when I first started, got in this thing and all the antique pullers. Like if you wanted to know, you'd put the little swing arm underneath with a bicycle computer, or you had ground radar, or otherwise it was you and your ass. That was all you knew to find out how fast you were going. And I think the speedboard has actually kind of spoiled everybody, to be honest.
Yeah.
It didn't spoil them any more than the rope class.
That was that had some strategy to it.
That had strategy.
Yeah.
Brent, what are you doing?
He got the Blair Witch Project going on over here.
I'm sorry. I should have just got out of the deal, but
I'm waiting for a masked goblin or something to come out behind you. And
well, it's hanging from the chandelier.
No shit. Freaking deal. It's always something around here. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. Already been there. Now my phone's about dead. I've charged it. Well, it was dead by noon today, and so I kind of charged it when I could this afternoon, in and out of vehicles. But yeah, and then the charger that I thought I had don't work for some reason now. So that's handy. So yeah,
that wouldn't happen if you didn't spend all your morning on TikTok.
Yeah, trust me. I don't even. The only time I get on TikTok is when somebody sends me one, and that's pretty much it. So, we don't have time for that. So, yeah.
Doesn't have time for an app literally called TikTok. There's something so rich about that.
The irony in that is not lost on me. Well, fellas, any last words of advice? You've given us an hour of your time that you're never going to get back, and we apologize for that. But
over an hour, they were in the green room before I got in here.
Oh, boy.
Man, the only thing that I have, and I know with these two sitting here, man, is watching all these pulling organizations and now being part of it for the short time that I have. Man, I just ask that everybody that's watching this just keep doing what you're doing, because I love how I can watch that a lot of organizations work together, can put pulls on together like we had Saturday night. I know we've been with different organizations, all throughout the season, co-sanctioning. I get to announce quite a bit at the state fair as well. Love watching how many different groups can come together and just keep the sport and the world of truck and tractor pulling alive.
Amen to that.
Yep.
And a lot of people think, that from whatever level, whether it's whatever's going on in Missouri at the state level, all the way up through the national organizations, everybody gets online and creates this thing where everybody hates each other. I promise you it's not true. And those guys at the top levels talk to each other weekly, if not daily. They are working together, whether you like to think that they are or not. They are.
Yep, that's what I want to throw out there and portray to people. If people are watching that, I want to make sure people understand that. And these groups are coming together. Quit pitting everybody against each other. Charles, like you said at the beginning of the program, man, today, 9/11, we know what happened, in 2001. Does everybody remember where we were at? I literally had just gotten out of the military. And actually 3 days prior to that was got my acceptance letter into Fire Academy. So you can imagine the world that when that happened, I just sat there and went, wow, now what? So we can all come together. Ryan, were you there for the opening ceremony?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing that people don't ever want me to steer away from. I'm not afraid to step on toes, especially for the American flag. I like to tell people, if you can't stand, I understand that. But if you're not going to stand, like I said, Jason Aldean said it best, try that crap at a small town, see what happens. There's too many good Americans at these truck and tractor pulls will show you to the door quickly.
Yep.
Larry Richwine's line for the national anthem this weekend was, if you're able to stand, please stand, because this is not the NFL.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I won't bring up the NFL because you guys might be Chiefs fans, and sorry.
Yeah, there's that.
I will bring this up, but do you know that Tony supposedly was offered a whole bunch of money to do a Butterfingers commercial? Seriously, everybody's laughing. No, he was. Even though he turned it down.
By the looks of my Snapchat, there's not a lot of happy Jets fans right now.
No. Guys, thanks
Anyway.
for having us on, though.
Yeah,
Thanks for
anytime,
coming
guys.
on. It was good to see all you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
And I'm not going to kick you out. You're
Thank you,
free to
guys.
hang out till the end if you want.
Yeah, if you guys want to hang out, that's fine. Listen to us roast Brent.
Oh yeah.
We don't
No,
know.
you go ahead and kick them out because you guys don't need any help. I know where this is going.
We may
No,
want to comment.
I'll tell you what I do just for you, Brent. I will mute them so that they can take notes and save it for the end.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Well, for some reason you are taking off. Good luck down there this weekend, guys, with everything. And hope everything
Thanks,
goes
man.
good.
Good
I
luck to you
think
guys.
I think we're, the problem is, so last year we did this on like the 26th of September or whatever. Well, we bumped it up this year mainly because we went to an outlaw event, and we were trying to pair it up with Spencer, Iowa, which is Sunday, so the pullers don't have to come to Bedford, go home, drive back to Spencer the next weekend. So last year we was always on top of Nevada. So one way or another, but I really think that we're far enough apart that I don't think spectator-wise it's going to matter much. I mean, I think there's probably kind of two different fan bases there somewhat, and the locals are going to come this way, and your guys will go that way. And Holden is always a good pull to go. I mean, I've been to Holden many times, and so it's definitely a good one to go to. But definitely good luck down there with everything, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Will do.
Brent.
Thank you, Brent.
That extreme level of diplomacy you just showed is not going to save you from them roasting you.
Oh, I know. I just thought, I mean, I know how it is. It's a lot of work.
But in all seriousness, no, though, what you just said, 100% true, and I hope that comes through. That from what you guys were just saying too, that together really is a thing. There's enough to go around for everybody.
Oh yeah. I mean, they fans down there that there's fans south of Kansas City. They don't want to drive clear to Iowa, when they. I mean, shoot. I mean, that's to drive 2 hours to a pull as a spectator. That's a lot,
Yeah.
Brent, I will tell you, man, that you guys pull a lot around my my actual hometown. I come from, around where Kurt's from up there. My hometown's actually Lamar's.
Oh, I'll see.
I know that entire area up there very, very well. My entire family, like Bedford. Well, you guys pulled at the Plymouth County Fair this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's where I grew up. That's my hometown. So my whole family comes and watches up there. So.
Yep. Nope. It's no. There is quite a few hooks. I mean, in the state of Missouri, they're all pretty spread out. I mean, you got Owensville, you got Lebanon, Holden, and then I kind of consider us somewhat Missouri. We're just barely across the line, but I mean, we're right up there in the northwest corner, and so there's lots of places for pulling fans to go get some action, this weekend, before the season comes to a close, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah.
Ryan went MIA on us.
He did.
Ryan got thirsty. I'll be right back.
He's getting a refill. Don't worry.
Oh, not even a refill.
Did he go get a glazed donut with some bacon and try
Probably.
trying it?
He
Didn't he?
can't. He won't be able to sleep tonight.
It's too late in the day for a heart attack. He's got to do that earlier in the day. So, Brent, talk about your event coming up.
Well, we're having a tractor pull in Bedford, Iowa, this Saturday night. So that's
Don't say.
we're gonna do that, but a little bit different. The State Line Showdown, Bedford, Iowa, same place, same time, starts at 6 p.m. Obviously, this year we switched gears a little bit. We went with an outlaw sanctioned event this year. We can get the iron there. We can get all the iron. We've had great numbers, great puller numbers there. you will see a lot of the same stuff you've seen in the past. You'll see some new stuff this year. But what we were after, we were trying to put on a better show for our fans. There's some things that the national organizations like that offer that we wanted to try, and so we elected to go with the Outlaws. And they do. I mean, they come with the everything, the signs, the matching shirts, the big screen, the live screen, all that stuff, and we're just working towards trying to. We've got a really good facility and a really good track where we're at. And that's really kind of what started this whole thing. I'm the type of guy that I just can't let stuff just go to waste. And I drive by that facility and think, man, that's a great, place there. There's a built grandstands. It's a circle track set up the state fair. It was just kind of sitting there, they use it for the fair, and that was about it. I thought, man, that'd be a great place to have an event. And so that's kind of what started this whole deal. And we kind of took it and ran with it from there. And the Taylor County Fair Board was gracious enough to let us, just come in there and do what we want to do and do our own thing. And man, they're more than supportive, and we sure appreciate that, because it's their venue, and man, it's a nice venue. They've got the concession stands and all that's actual buildings that's built, and so it's really nice, and everything's there. And so, and it honestly makes putting the pull on a lot easier. I mean, as far as getting ready for it, it's not a lot of work to get the place in shape and ready to go. But anyway, we thought we would try this year. Really excited about it. We are going to have that so that we can have some of those added features that they bring, and we just thought we would try it. The cost is more. But luckily, this year, our sponsors, we kind of explained there again, like I talked before, we explained what we were doing, and that we were kind of putting on a little bigger, better deal, and that there was more opportunity for sponsorship exposure with, with the big screen, the live stream, and all that. And so we kind of sold those items and did really well on sponsorships this year. I was a little bit worried. I mean, last year we were looking at, as far as from the agriculture, side of things, which is kind of a big driving part of sponsorship up here where we're at, being in kind of a rural setting, that, things aren't quite as rosy, obviously, this, going to be this fall as they were last fall. We're looking at $4.50 corn instead of $7 corn, and, and inputs were high. And I'm not trying to dwell on all that. I'm just saying that, I really appreciate our sponsors for stepping up and helping us more this year than they have in the past, so it wouldn't go. These guys, at Holden know just as well as I do, it won't go on gate money. It just, you can't, and you got to have those sponsors. And really, if you can have most of your show paid for, if not all of it paid for with sponsorship, that's about what you have to do. And so, but anyway, we really want to give a big shout out to a bunch of them. They'll be advertised all night long, coming across everywhere, and so you'll see those. And we've got some new ones this year, and we've got some that have been with us since we started, and we're doing really well in that aspect. But we're having 9 classes. You can read down through there, but we got the Pro Stock 4x4 pickups. We got new this year is the modified 4-wheel drives. So the bar tire trucks like Thumper there on the flyer, we'll have those. Those are always fun to watch. 2.6 diesel pickups, 3.0 diesel pickups. We got Pro Farm tractors, which is our Pro Farm class, which is the 3,500 RPM GT42 box charger tractors. We'll have those. Light Limited Pros, so R85 Limited Pros. We'll have the Limited Pros, which are the 4-ones. We will have Pro Stock tractors, which is the 5-inch Pro Stock tractors with Outlaw. And then new this year will be the Pro Stock semis, which is the class that I jumped into. So we're really excited to have those. We should have 5 of those. It's been a deal keeping them all kind of going the same direction this summer, trying to get them all in one spot. But we will have 5 of those there, to my knowledge, Friday night. But anyway, so we're real excited about that, to bring that to Bedford. The 2.6 diesel pickup class, That is the only class I believe, other than I guess maybe your pro stock 4x4 trucks, but the following is kind of separate. There's a lot of pro stock 4x4 pickups in the country. If all of them went to Holden or came to Bedford, that's too many. So it's going to work out really good. I mean, and it don't matter. I'm not picking on pro stock 4x4s. I don't care if it's 4-1s, pro stock. More than 20 of anything in a class is a lot. I mean, you're kind of over it, ready to move on. So it's going to work out good. The 2.6 diesel trucks, for those of you wondering, because I know there's a lot of followers in the diesel pickup world, we're going to pull our 2.6 diesel pickup early, like first class. And I know the last I was told, there may be some coming up to run that are going to take off and go to Holden after the fact. So I don't know if that's been conveyed. So this may be news to the MSTPA people at this point. I'm not sure, but that's what I was told.
We're working on that.
Yeah,
we just found that out.
so yes,
third class.
Yeah, we had them third class at first, so we have to. So we're going to have to switch some things around.
10-4. Well, that's what I was. Now I don't know how many of them's coming, but I know there, as of the other day, there was a few that wanted to come up and then go back down there. I know 2 of them are definitely not coming, and they're battling it out for the points, I think. So,
yep.
So they definitely won't be there, but some of the others are like, heck yeah, we want to come and hook there and go, whatever. And I've kind of got a little bit of a tie with them, because that's where I was for a while, and so I got to know those guys really well, and they all like to come to Bedford. And so but anyway, so we was trying to make it. It's about 2.5 hours from Bedford to Holden. So, and I'm pretty sure the Holden show will probably last longer than mine. I know you got more classes, more stuff going on, or whatever, maybe. So, historically it does. So, we're going to start at 6 p.m. So we'll probably be done pulling 2.6 diesel pickups by, I would say, the latest 6:45. So, I mean, we'll fire them through. So, and they don't take long. They don't have to warm up. They don't have to do all that. They're ready to go and lock and load. So, we're going to run them early. That's about the only class that I think that we're going to, be sharing a little bit. And like I say, we're not going to share them all, but we're going to share a couple of them, maybe, is what I heard. Other than that, we're real excited that, of course, the semis, everybody's excited about seeing those up there this year, and so it's just something new that we've got that we're super excited about. So aside of that, I mean, that's kind of the deal. Hoping to have, we should have plenty of food. I've had 2 or 3 people ask me, ribeye sandwiches are really popular up here. Everybody wants ribeye sandwiches, and so I hit up the fair. The fair board is actually doing the concessions this year. They've got a big concession stand. They got 2 or 3, 4 windows they can, they can pull out. So, they asked me, and I said, "Are you guys doing ribeye sandwiches?" They're like, "Well, we didn't know. We didn't know if those got kind of expensive." And I said, "People will buy them. People will buy them." I said, just get them. And so I know I've been to, I don't know how many hooks this year. And if they got ribeye sandwiches, that's what I'm having, And I mean, it just is. And if it's $12 a sandwich or whatever, I'd be like, whatever, and I'll throw down my $12 all day long. But anyway, so we should have pretty good food, a good selection there as far as that goes. Question popped up about the beer tent or whatever. We're not, and I'm not saying we won't down the road. And it's just we're trying to get everything rolling here and trying to take steps. But we are not selling beer at the pull, so that's why coolers are welcome. So if you want to bring it, you're more than welcome to bring it. Obviously, we would rather not have bottles. Glass bottles is just obvious for obvious reasons. But if you can respect that and bring your cooler, and have a good time, that's fine. But we wanted to offer the cooler thing just because we're not selling it. And so at this point, we would like to get into that maybe down the road, but we've got to cross all the bridges with all the proper red tape and all that. And so we're not there yet. We're working on the poll, trying to make it better. And I know that is part of it, but we're not there yet. So coolers are welcome. that would, it's $20 to get in, 12 and under is free. I know a lot of places they charge, for 12 and down, and that's fine. We're trying to make it work and get people in the seats, and that's why we've kind of left it where it's at. Everything's getting more expensive, and so in the future we may have to go up a little bit, but we're just trying to get people there. And I think people, the first year or two, people really, they're like, man, $20, are you kidding? And they kind of complained at the gate a little bit, but once they saw the show that we put on and the iron that we had there, I didn't hear too much complaining. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fair always put a pull on, and they actually did not put a pull on this year, but they always put a pull on, and it's that's what people are used to, and it's just a little different caliber show than that. So that's people are really happy with it. I think once they are have watched it, but and we're trying to keep the class order. We're kind of moved through them. We're hoping it's over by 10:30 at the latest. I mean, I think we can blow through them, and Outlaw does a really good job of not rolling through them. So, but anyway, so that's kind of the deal. But so that's kind of where we're at this year. We are kind of doing that deal and going from there. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, Brent.
Yeah.
The boss just said we'll work on that. We'll get them at the end.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Well, I was hoping so. I didn't.
Yep.
I definitely don't want to. We definitely don't want to step anybody's toes. Like I said, I've been to Holden plenty, and it's a great show, and I don't want to, But those guys, they're like, man, we'd sure like to come up and pull with you. And I said, we'll make our accommodation. I think that's probably the way to do it. Just knowing, I've been to Holden, and I would guess, and then honestly, that's better for them because a lot of them are from closer down that way, and they'll end up closer to home that way instead of having to drive clear to Bedford and then whatever. So I was just afraid that that would probably be the way to do it, and that's what I told them. They said, well, they try to make it happen. So I mean, that's
right there is what I was
I hope
told.
it works out for everybody.
Yeah, we'll make it work.
So, but other than that, I think we're pretty well separate on the classes and stuff. So, but Outlaws pretty well got their class of Pro Stock 4x4s, I think, and I don't think probably a couple in there that maybe would have took off to go to Holden, but I know there's maybe even a pull between here and there too that's got them. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's kind of what's going on. But yeah, we're real excited. We been doing. There's the fair board has done some improvements. They've got another new set of bleachers, a new set of aluminum portable bleachers. So we're going to have more seating this year, hoping to have more crowd, obviously too, to go along with it, to fill those seats. But they've went ahead and purchased those. It's about $100,000 set of bleachers they bought. So yeah, so we're hoping that's not a waste for them, and we want to show them that we're going to fill them up, and so we want people through the gate and to fill up those seats. But that allows to have better seating. The more people you can cram at that 3-foot mark, the better it is. And so, we'll have that there. I'm trying to think. I'm actually going to pick up some new lights. Ryan's been there, Cody's been there, and none of us are going to argue the fact that, when we look at photos, as good as these guys are with what they've got, the lighting is not great at Bedford. It's that's the first thing I notice when I look at any of the photos from Bedford is it's pretty dim. Those lights are probably as old as I am. Maybe not quite that old. That's pretty old, but they're dated. And so we've kind of elected to put in some new lighting. So we're going to work on that this week and stick up some new LED lights and try those out, and hopefully have quite a few of those up. And we're going to continue to do that. It's just I bought 3 big ones, and we're going to try those tomorrow night. We're going to stick them up tomorrow night and try those. If they're like what we like, we're going to go get some more and put them up later in the week. But we didn't want to buy a whole bunch of something that we didn't know if that's what we wanted. And so we're trying to improve the facility and kind of keep that going, because man, it's a great. And I know all the Outlaw, a lot of the people that I had there before, a lot of the pullers are in the Outlaw organization, and they really like coming there. They really like Bedford, and it does work good. It's just the setup, that circle track there again. It's all flat. You can park all the haulers inside the circle track. It's big enough. You can get them all in there, and they can pull out and all go the same direction. They can scale, come around, hook, and go off the other side of the track and go right back to their hauler. There's no jamming up, no people trying to pass each other going, and I mean, we're just very fortunate, to have that set up. All the spectator parking is clear out north, away from the pullers parking, so there's not issues of people blocking people and in the way and whatever. So we're really, like I say, it's a great facility.
It's not a long walk either.
But now,
when Brent says clear out north, like it's not that walk. I mean, it's a short walk.
No, it's not a long walk.
It's great.
But it's
that facility is
right,
fantastic.
But no, it's just they've got a good setup there, and we're, like I say, we're sure glad to have it, and I'd like to see it, I'd like to see it improve, and so that's kind of what we're doing. That's kind of what we've going to do. The proceeds here for a year or two is kind of try to keep that going, because without a good facility, we can't have a good pull. And so we're kind of put some money back into that. What we've got, what we if we can come away with any, and we're going to try to put that back in the facility. And the nice thing is whatever we put into it, the fair, the Taylor County Fair, and all the other events they have, they've got a rodeo arena there. They do some ranch rodeo stuff there. It's all going to benefit everybody, and that's kind of what we're trying to do, is do something that's maybe not just for our benefit, but for everybody. And that's what's great about working in a facility like that, is more people get to use it throughout the year. And so that's kind of what we're going to work for, I think, the next couple of years, and then we get it fixed up. We'll do something else for some kind of little organization or something, or whatever. But anyway, that's kind of where we're headed with it, and we're real excited about it. I was trying to think any other high points that I don't know, Ryan, Cody can. Or
you printed off a big list of sponsors. I was going to tell you, make sure you mention your big ones and your new ones.
Yep.
I was going to ask you. How that 3-0 class is shaping up. Any smack talk lately?
Well, I think the 3-0 class will be pretty good. I don't have the exact numbers. I guess I do know that some of them that may not really even hook with Outlaws that much are coming, just because it's Bedford and they want to come there. And like I say, I've become friends with a lot of people over the years, and a lot of pullers, and I think that's probably, honestly, I've always been able to get. I mean, we'll have, like, when this was non-sanctioned, we'd get 10 5-inch pro stock tractors there.
Yep.
I mean, Parkers had come from Ohio, and it's just, it's, you got, getting to know people and the friendship and stuff, and they just come because we're putting it on and they want to support us, and so that's really great. But the 3-0 class is kind of like that. I've run with them guys in diesel pickup world and all that, and I got to know all those guys, and so usually we have a really good class of 3-0s, probably about as many 3-0s as you're going to see in this part of the world, in either Western Series or Outlaw, all in one spot. So that's pretty great. But they've always, 3-0 diesel pickups have always been there every year, and they've always supported me and so I'm looking forward to that. Just likewise with all the classes we've got, even, aside the new ones, the pro stock tractors, they've been there every year. The light limited pros and the limited pros, the 4-1s and the 3x4s, they've all been there and showed up in numbers. And so, and obviously the pro stock 4x4s, that's one thing I would like to highlight a little bit. It's a hometown pull for quite a few guys there. Pro stock 4x4 pickups, Tater Wagon, Dave Walters, and Brett Stamps, the Troublemaker truck. They both helped put this on. Big help putting this on, and getting sponsors and helping and just to show up to help with everything. And so those two guys, it's kind of their hometown deal. It's what I call my hometown deal. This is as close to hometown. I live 10 miles south in Missouri, and this is my hometown deal. Lane Thornton, and Murray Thornton and Ryan Thornton, the backdraft 4x4 truck, the mod 4x4 and Thumper. And they've even got the Ramrod, which is not out this year. It hasn't been out, but they've got that Dodge Dakota, the Ramrod. They got it too, but just should be just the two this year. So as far as I know, but it's their hometown. Murray Thornton actually runs a very good auto repair business. Automotive. That's all he's ever done. Quality auto repair. They help sponsor, and they run a deal right there, and that's where everybody takes their vehicle to get it worked on in Bedford. I mean, that's where everybody goes. You just take it to Murray's, and then Thornton Ag, Ryan Thornton and Lane, they've got Thornton Ag up there and just north, and so they're a big sponsor too, and so they're right there local. And I'm trying to think of any others really, but that's some of the super local guys that are helping put this thing on. So they're real excited about having all their outlaw buddies there, obviously, because that's kind of who they mainly all pull with, and they're all running points with. And as a matter of fact, I think Thumper is actually in the points lead, if I remember right now with Outlaws. So that'll be cool to have them there. They're having a good season, and that's great. And so that's kind of cool. Other than that, that's kind of the deal. But as far as the sponsors go, Organics Midwest is our top sponsor. I'm even representing a little bit there. I don't know if Todd's watching or not, or if any of the guys are watching. But anyway, I use their product on my own farm, and man, they've been a big sponsor. They've stepped up big for us this year. They kind of they worked out a great deal with pulls, not just this pull. They're an outlaw sponsor, and they've also sponsored some of the other pulls, especially with guys that have purchased their product. I use their product. I know Dave Walters uses their product, and there's a few of us around here that did. And so since we were doing that and trying to help them do that, they were willing to give back and help us out. And so that's kind of what it's all about. That kind of goes back to what you guys were saying about them local businesses, and you helping them and they help you, and the car dealership thing that was put up earlier. That's where it's all comes full circle, and so that makes a big difference. But another big sponsor for us this year, the Black Maple Wind project, the renewable energy project there that's going on right down Southwest Iowa. There, they were a big sponsor. They put up pretty big. Wilbur Ellis is another one. Wilbur Ellis is they do chemical sales and stuff, and what have you. Brian Strider. I don't know. So there's a few of you out there that know Brian Strider. He used to pull a 85 Limited Pro, and it was called Green Fever, and that tractor belonged to, and is actually going to sell again, but that tractor belongs to the Grimes family. That Light Pro, just another buck of Grimes, was Brian Strider's old tractor. And so he's kind of got ties way back in the pulling world, and he always helps me out. He was with a different company last year, and they sponsored, and I said, hey, would your new outfit be able to, would want to help out? So he helped me out, and so that's kind of a little bit of history there. New Generation Agri Services is a big one. Lane Aldrich with New Gen Ag down there, Excelsior Springs, good friend of mine, has sponsored every year, helped us out. He's into pulling and heavy, and always has been, and he's knows a lot of people. But anyway, he's helped us out. I've got a whole list. Man, it would take a minute to go through all these, but a lot of these guys, a few of them that have stepped up this year more than last year even. BB Diesel and Rental, Wilmarth Ag Repair. Their local ag repair deal. Load Pro Trailer Sales. They're a dealer right out of. They sell like Load Max trailers and stuff right out of Clarinda there. Rice Auction Company. Jake Rice is a big sponsor there. He stepped up this year and helps out. Roberts Brothers Transport. I don't know who they are, but anyway, they helped out.
Outlaw hoodlums.
Yeah. Let's see here. Diversified Towing. Jesse Geisler. There's another puller that's he's got a towing business up there around Crescent. He's helped us out. He was very I call him and said, hey man, and he kind of just started this towing business as kind of a addition to every other thing they do. I mean, they build trucks,
Yeah.
they heavy haul, they're into a little bit of everything, and those guys are growers. But they started to I said, hey, I like your towing business on there. We can get that on there. I said, sure. And so he threw out Simmerly Collision is another one that stepped up this year and give more. That's who does all the work on all of my trucks. All the shiny stuff that comes from Simmerly Collision, all the paint work and body work and all that is Simmerly Trucks, Simmerly Collision in King City. And he's always kind of been he likes tractor pulling, and he's Stuart Mays' tractor. That's who paints it. I'm thinking that Hickory Hooker, I believe, gets its paint work done there.
Yep.
Rod Schottle's Beautiful Cases, that's where they get work done. I mean, he liked Cody Yarrick's Gone Tractor, Dave Yarrick's, Dursling, and all those.
Cody Shea's old tractor as well, I believe.
He likes to do cool stuff. He likes and it's hard to get a lot of body shops to do that, but he likes to do cool stuff, and he actually helped sponsor. He was one of my he did some work, all the work on the pulling truck, the new pulling truck, and that's the only reason it looks as good as it does. Him and Ryan Ewing at Ewing Shine Shop, those two, they make us look good while we're rolling, and so that's another big sponsor. Deluxe Truck Stop in St. Joe, Missouri. They stepped up big this year. I do a lot of business down there, and I know a lot of people through this corridor who got trucks, buy tires there, get washed there, the cattle pot washouts and everything, trailer washouts. Edge Ag Solutions up around Corning, agri services dealer. They helped us out a lot this year. MFA Northwest. That's where I do a lot of my seed business with MFA up here. They're really building and got a good deal going kind of in Northwest Missouri. They just put in a brand new facility to kind of service this area over around Ravenwood, which is kind of a central location for Northwest Missouri. And so they sponsored up big this year. Sleep's Tile Yard, that's one that I want to mention. That one there, that's one of them tried and true. They've been with us since the start. Sleep, they sell hand core tile just over there, just west of Bedford. Whatever we've needed, but man, they've always been one of our biggest sponsors. And any equipment, they're the ones we get the telehandler from. Dave Sleep and those guys, they've been there every year for us, and so that's a big one. Another one that's local is RK Fuels. RK Fuels is based out of Diagonal, Clearfield, Iowa area, just up here northeast of us. They've got a really nice fueling station. If you're down this way and you need to get fuel for your rig or your hauler, that's where you go. RK Fuels, they sponsored big also this year, and they got a really nice fueling station right there in Bedford, right on Highway, so on the north edge of Bedford. So go see them if you need some go-go juice when you stop in. Next Gen Technology, that's Rodney Henry. He's over around. Cody knows who that is. He does a lot of precision ag stuff and a lot of stuff for guys that are in the area, and does a really good job at it. That's about all he's done that since, I think since he got out of. I mean, he's always been into that. He worked for another guy, and now he's on his own and doing a great job with that. And I know a lot of guys use him, and he stepped up quite a bit this year and helped sponsor. So Thornton Ag, Ryan Lane Thornton. That's another one that obviously local guys there have stepped up big. St. Joe Peterbilt just built a new facility in St. Joe there. I talked to Eric Botteroff. He used to run around with Rodney Knott and actually pulled the Naughty Boys tractor some off and on, here and there, would hop in the seat. Of course, he's got ties to pulling from way back and has always been around.
I knew I recognized that name from somewhere.
Yep, that's who it is. I always knew him as Precious. Rodney, old knothead, he always called him Precious. Yeah, let's see if old Precious can get her down the track tonight, And man, it was he's a hoot. But anyway, he helped us out big this year. So we've got a bunch of them. Lance Seed is a new one. They're seed dealer just down here. They're a big Stein seed dealer. Sell a lot of Stein seed and they're just down here south of Maryville. I even got some money out of Ken Summers. Summers Farms has helped us at least the last couple of years. So I know, and I can't remember. Maybe it's been 3 now. Time gets away from me, but Ken's always offered, and then we throw it back that way. I don't know if that's real, if it's the best thing for me and him, because I give him money for the Buckner pole to help sponsor it, and then he gives it basically. But it's good for the pole, I guess. But it's costing us both out of our pockets, but that's okay. But so we help each other out. Ken's always been good and supported us, even when he hasn't been able to make it to the pole. He still helps sponsor, and I think he's going to be there this year. He told me he was anyway.
That's the plan.
That was the plan. So we'll be excited to have him up there this year. I love to have sponsors show up. I love to see them in there and through the gate, and we try to point them out and give them as much credit as we can. Like I say, that's kind of the heart and soul of the deal, is a sponsorship deal. I mean, it takes all that, and man, we appreciate the heck out of those people, and like I said, the help that we've got, man, I hate to even name the people that I've got, because I'm afraid I'm gonna forget somebody, but I can't ask for a better crew. I mean, everybody is just eager to jump in and help, and they know what's going on, they know what they need to do, and they just do it. And honestly, I have probably as much fun at that, putting that on, as I do at any other pool. I mean, they make it so easy, to make it all go. I was always so worried about being so hectic and not being able to be everywhere at once and get everything done. And it ain't that way. I mean, they just do it, and it goes off without a hitch. And man, if honestly, if there is a hold up, or if there is something that happens, it's usually my fault. So, I mean, it's definitely not their fault. It's something that I either forgot or missed or something, and we're trying to do good and trying to be better. And, there's just a lot to it, and so, but anyway, that's I just want to thank those guys a whole bunch and kind of go from there. We're not to forget one kind of important thing to us that's pretty near and dear. We are gonna be short a little bit of help this year. We've got one gentleman that's not going to be there with us this year, and we're going to miss him like heck. Clellan Beeson. We can't go on without mentioning him. I mean, he's been there since the start. Him and his dad Kenny. Kenny Beeson, Beeson Farms is sponsored, and they sponsored again this year. Helped us out again. I didn't really even want to make a phone call to Kenny. This just happened, and and we're still aching about it. It still hurts pretty hard.
100%.
But I thought, if it was the other way around, I would want to still go on, and I'd still want to help. And so I got a hold of Kenny and kind of off to the side, and he's going to be there to help us, just like in years past. We're going to be short one main part. So we're hoping we can fill the void, and as much as we can, and keep things going. But Clellan and Kenny have been there since the start of this deal, helping us out, getting sponsors, doing and working, and being there when it's work nights at the track. Gosh, we just I hate it, and everybody does. But that's life, and we got to keep. Kenny told me, I talked to him the day we had our meeting, and he didn't make it to the first meeting, which is fine. I just kind of sent out a text. I said, hey, we're going to meet at the fairgrounds this day. If y'all can make it, that's fine. If you want to help, if you don't want to help, no big deal, And Kenny didn't show up, and he called me later, and I said, man, I said, I didn't want to put you on the spot. And he said, I said, I know it's going to be rough, but I said I wanted to include you, and because you've always helped us, and you guys are great. And he said, he said the only thing I can figure out is you just got to keep going, and he's right. We just got to keep going. And so but we're sure going to miss Clell. Everybody does, and like I said, it's gonna be a little rough for some of us that night. I mean, it's gonna be tough. But we're all there together. We're all there for each other, and that's the best thing about a Poland family is it's just as tight can be when it comes right down to it. It's crazy, to be that competitive on the track, but at the end of the day, do anything for anybody, and it's such a great deal and great community. But that's the tough part of the night for us all is going on without one of our guys. That's what we got to do. It's just like Kenny said. It's tough, but we just got to keep going. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep going and do all we can to make him proud and roll on. So
Can I piggyback off of that for a minute, Brent? For those that you don't know, when I started Memorial Fund for Cleland, and unfortunately, you cannot put a PayPal and Venmo to an account that you have to have a phone number to, and they don't accept a Google Voice number. But I've got an account started for Memorial Fund. I've got the first several $100s in there already. If anybody wants to donate that, please reach out because it's going to go straight to them to help with them. So, so if anybody is interested in that, that's where it's going. So,
Is that guy's name Cody?
cool deal. No, that'd be great. I mean, it's like any when any young person that's that we lose, it's obviously very unexpected, and we're not always in our busy lives we don't pay attention to the things that matter and getting things kind of set up and going, and so whatever we can do to help those people out, that I mean they've already lost enough, and if we can throw a few extra bucks their way to help them. The last thing they need to worry about is trying to make ends meet, and taking care of all this. So we sure appreciate anything you can do to help them out. So, but they're sure not going to ask for it. They would never ask for it, and they would be right there to stick it in somebody else's hat if they need it. And so we definitely want to keep them in mind and help them out. Reach out to Cody. We had talked about it before, and he's getting it all set up. So yeah, definitely reach out to Cody if you want to help us out or help them out. That'd be great. But anyway, that's kind of what we've got going. And that's one big thing we wanted to touch on because that's going to be a big part of it. But other than that, one thing I about forgot. Breaking news as of last night, and this will be news to some people, a lot of people. We've got a kind of a group of what I would call them 3LM tractors that they are kind of in southwest Iowa, northwest Missouri area. That they said, and actually this was kind of Gary Sabatka's one of our sled guys. That's somebody else we need to thank big is Gary Sabatka, GLS Manufacturing. He's got the rock sled, red rock sled. He's been there every year, and with both sleds. And when we decided we wanted to go to a 2-sled show, 2-track show, he was like, he was behind it 100%, and he's always done really good for us. But anyway, we're actually going to have at about 5 o'clock, we're going to run a handful of those tractors down each track, kind of get things rolling and groove track a little bit. Those guys are always looking for a place to hook, with those. And they called me, or Gary actually called me. He said, would you be okay with hooking about 10 of those, 5 on each track to kind of get the, just for fun? And I said, sure, bring them on. I said, that'll be great. We can handle that. We'll have everything ready by then. And so that's actually going to be before the Outlaw show. So that's kind of something new. So if you want to get there a little bit early, I mean, it's not really advertised. I'll throw something on Facebook about it. But if anybody kind of wants to get there early and get settled in and watch a few things, go down the track, and as we get things rolling and kind of tore up and broke open, why it'd be something else we could do. But yeah, there'll be a handful of those there at the beginning of the show, about 5 o'clock before the show, I guess I should say. And so we'll run those through. They won't take long. They'll be there ready to roll. We'll run through those, and then we'll kind of roll into our opening ceremonies and do all that, and then we'll have them hooked to the sled and rocking and rolling, and so should be really good as far as I know. I'm trying to think of anything that I'm forgetting.
What time are you doing lights tomorrow night?
The lights, we're probably going to work on those. I've got to go to St. Joe and get them. I'm not sure what time they'll be in St. Joe. Got to do some trucking in the morning. So I'm going to guess it's probably going to be towards 5 o'clock.
I got to be in Omaha, so text me and let me know. I might swing down.
Okay, 10-4, I can do that. But yeah, we're going to put 3 of them up. Hopefully it won't take 3 hours to put 3 up. I hope, but not too. The poles are already there. The electricity is there. All we got to do is swap them out. So we got a truck and everything. So we're going to stick them up and then be there at dark to flip them on and see what we got. And we're excited about that. We're real excited about. Of course, being a truck, a truck guy. I mean, lights really excite me. I like lights. So, but anyway.
So help me, if you bought amber lights, just so you can have 300 foot of chicken lights.
Chicken lights.
Yep. Exactly. So we're gonna do that, and like I say, we're trying to make it better, and I think we'll just keep whittling at it and keep doing what we're doing, and try to keep improving the facility and making it a better show for everybody to come to, and bring people to Taylor County, Iowa, and it's there's not really a pull of that caliber. Probably that I would say, I tell people the closest one to us would probably be Mound City, Missouri. I would say would be the next pull, kind of like that with a national organization. So that's probably, so it's people in the area really, they come, they're like, wow, I didn't realize this was going to be like this. They get pretty excited. So we get excited about them getting excited, so that's cool. But anyway, I don't know. Is there anything else? It's really it's a little bit quieter on the show without Jason. I will say that. He's usually right there with something for me, like all the time. So, but anyway,
he's laying on the beach. So
that lucky dog. So that's cool. But other than that, that's kind of what we got going.
You still got the best looking bunch of track crew tractors on the planet.
Yep, that's on the list for the week. We actually, we were sitting in my dad's shop. My dad just finally built him his shop that he's always wanted, and so I went up there last night to holler at him, and we were sitting there in the shop chairs, kind of going over our plans for the week because we've all got a lot to do. And I said, well, I got to go we've got an 8R310 John Deere that Dad and I got together. And I said, I need to go get the 310 out and get it cleaned up so we can put it on the tillage tool to pair the track up, like we always do. And he's like, yeah. He's like, you'll just have to unhook the planter. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, it's still hooked onto the planter. I'm like, nobody's cleaned the planter up yet, have they? And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So the planter is actually sitting out here on the wash pad, and he says, well, just unhook it and we'll get it later. I said, no, we won't. We're going to wash the planter and clean it up before it gets unhooked, or it will not get done. I mean, we're rolling into harvest here, and so we've actually got we got to get that one cleaned up. We got a 4255 and a 4455. My brother Corey's got his 40. It's already cleaned up. He took the hood off. He takes the hood off.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, takes the hood off, takes it all apart, takes all the shields off, slides the radiator condenser and all that apart so he can. I mean, he does the full meal deal on it. But anyway, the hood is sitting on some semi tires in my shop. Just got done being buffed and waxed and polished, and my gosh, I don't know. He's gonna make everybody else look bad, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, we've got to get those all cleaned up this week, and we'll have all that stuff there. So it's not a great show to go to if you like to see red iron working the track, because it's pretty much
yeah, come to Holden.
Come to Holden.
Yeah, exactly. If you like that, go to Holden, because that's what they run down there. I know. But anyway, but now it's my dad's a big kind of a 55 series John Deere nut, and and that's the first tractor I ever drove was a 4055 power shift. First track. Well, it's the first one I ever run by myself that my grandpa turned me loose on, and so anyway, But we've always been kind of a fan of those, and so we usually get those out. And honestly, I think Dad just likes to do it because it gets all of his tractors cleaned up and shined up, and we've got
And it lets them stretch their legs once in a while.
Yeah, and we actually, one of them, the 4455, is still hooked to a baler. We got two John Deere balers that we run, and Dad runs the 4455, and Mom runs hers on a 7530 John Deere, and so Dad says, well, we're going to have to unhook one or do something, and Mom says, well, you can leave mine hooked up, and you can put yours away. So I guess they're getting on the short rows on baling hay finally, custom baling. So I guess so I told Mom, I said, you sure you want to do that? I said, that means you're going to have to bale the rest of the hay, whatever comes the rest of the year. And she says, well, I'll probably have to do it anyway because you guys will be working on combines, And so anyway, so yeah, she's nobody drives her rig. I mean, that's kind of like the combine. Not too many other people run the S670. That's pretty much her deal. So I run one and she runs one. That's kind of how we roll. But
speaking of which, isn't it her birthday today?
No, her birthday. It's my mother-in-law's birthday.
Oh, okay.
It's
Happy
Denise's
birthday, mother-in-law.
Yep, Megan's mom.
Hence the reason why he's on video chat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, it's my mother-in-law's birthday today. My mom's birthday is October 8th. And
okay, I'm not going to remember that. So, Mom?
No. We are going to have a
little early
for her, so if you're in the area, you can stop by. But she's going to be, well, she's 59 right now. So if that tells you anything, that's how old she's going to be. So we've got to have a big party for her here in a little less than a month. So, but anyway, I don't know. She told us she wasn't doing that. She was going to be combining. I said, well, guess what? We're going to shut them down and we're gonna celebrate, I guess. So anyway, but that's coming up. But nope. Other than that, that's kind of our plan. I forgot one. Brian Wilmarth Ag Repair. He's been, of course, with me. He's kind of one of the other main dealers. Been with us since the start, helping us out. And he'll have his. He's got a 4455 too. It'll be there. So yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we'll have the old track crew ready to go. Ag Power is another sponsor, like those guys told us. They've got a really good packer back when I was working in Maryville there, that we purchased that Philip Moberg found, one of the salesmen up there. And it's a really good. It's a 13-wheel packer, so it's a wide one and it's big and heavy. And they had it repainted and put their logo on the side. But we use it every year. We sure appreciate it because a good packer is kind of hard to find. I mean, they're not just sitting everywhere. So we've been really lucky to have it. It kind of strolls around Northwest Missouri and up here at all the local polls. So we're glad to have it too. So, but the rest of the track equipment's pretty much come from the guys that are putting it on, pretty much our farms and stuff. So as far as that goes, box scrapers and whatnot, a couple skid steers. So, but anyway, yeah, other than that, that's the plan.
We're up at it for our 2 hours, and being an hour ahead of all the rest of you.
Yep.
Okay. I'm about ready. Let's go around the horn. Final thoughts.
I got one question, Brent. Since we've been on, we had a gentleman from South Dakota call us about want to know if there was a pull Friday night. He wants to come to our pull Saturday night, but he thought if there's a pull Friday night somewhere in between. Do you know anything up in that area that he could stop at on Friday night?
Man, I'm trying to think.
What
I don't know if there's much. I don't know if there's much going on Friday night or not. Because I know Northwest doesn't have anything that I'm aware of. Because we talked about that this week.
Oh, okay. Jesse's coming down here.
I don't know, and then NK obviously doesn't have anything. I don't know, and there's really in Iowa. There's not. I mean, you got East Central Iowa. I don't know if they've got anything or not, but Western Iowa doesn't have. What's he pulling?
Yeah, they're done.
It's that one that Charles. He sent that message earlier, wanting to know about that. Or was it Doug? Was it you?
RPM limit.
The RPM limit.
Oh,
he's from South Dakota.
Shoot, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I think the guys that, But you got a class for him down there. Oh, BPM would have a class.
Yeah, BPM's got classes for him. He just thought maybe he'd
Cool.
pick a hook somewhere on the way down.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That's a tough one. If it wasn't for Friday night football and Bedford, Iowa being a big football town, I would actually have mine on Friday night.
Yeah.
Even maybe just to kind of get off the top of some other stuff and whatever. But I just I'm not gonna. I don't want to be on top of high school sports, definitely. So that's kind of why we went with Saturday night, and then of course the Spencer thing. That kind of ties it together, and boys can go on up there Sunday. So. But yeah, that's the plan. We are going to run our Spencer classes. We're going to run the classes that pull at noon on Sunday. Spencer, we're going to run them earlier in the show, obviously. So some of them are going to want to take off and go on up to Spencer, that night, Saturday night. So for any of the outlaw pullers watching or whatever, but we are going to run the classes accordingly, probably. So anyway, so that way they can take off and go if they need to go or want to get up there. Get a spot. So just trying to accommodate everybody as much as we can. And the guys down south, they know just as well as I do. That's kind of tough to do sometimes, but we do the best we can with what we got. So,
correct.
But anyway, so yep. But that's other than that, I don't know. Charles is about to fall asleep up there, so he's got to turn into a pumpkin here before long.
That's right. So, my carriage is going to turn into one.
And I think Doug's not far behind him. Doug has been really quiet. So.
Yes.
I'm always quiet.
But nope, other than that, that's all I've got. I mean, I think that's all I've got, unless somebody can tell me different.
Brett, thanks for having those 2-6 trucks early, man, so that some of them can come down to us.
Right. Nope. I get it. That's, being a promoter, that's, you don't want to, that's the toughest part of having a pull is try not to be on top of somebody or try not to take, we can't ask for much better as far as our classes being off of one another, and we've both got a good lineup of classes, and I don't think either of us are going to take from the other than that class. So that's why I told them guys, if it's all right with everybody down there, I'll damn sure put you first so you can get headed to Holden, and they'll make it easy. Really, honestly. So, I mean, I don't think you guys will be done by 9:30, will you?
No, it'd be 11 o'clock probably.
That's kind of what I figured. So
every bit of 11 o'clock.
Every bit of 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I figured it'd work out good to do them up here first, and that way they'll be closer to home down there anyway, and work out good for everybody. So.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Not a problem. Appreciate you guys. Good luck down there again.
You too.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll see how we get along. We'll try to do her again next year. So
good deal. Well, thank you guys for joining us and taking time out of your Monday nights to make it happen. I know you got a busy week of planning to get ready and make sure you have all your ducks in a row.
You bet. Thank you guys
for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, Brandon, I'll see you Saturday.
All right, buddy. We'll see you, boys.
All right, yo.
Greg could talk to him.
All right. Final thoughts from you guys. Anything?
No, it's just that we're missing Mr. Rich Wine, so we should touch on the Underly maybe for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I believe I'm not sure start times on that, but Saturday
5 and 7, I think, or 4 and 6, something like that. Regionals first, and then they kind of rework the track and then do it all again for the Grand National. It's rapid fire. They move quick. They don't screw around. They get through it, and that's a lot. But it's fun.
Larry was Larry at Sandwich. Did a good job. So. But Travis not going to make the Enderley. He blew off of her again.
Who?
Travis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Connie took a motor out in the afternoon, so they switched that out in between, hour and a half. Pulled it out, put it in, had it running. Simon's had some pretty severe breakage in the afternoon session on one of the pro stocks. Jeremy Roberts had a rough night with Super Farm. The rest of the transmission decided to let go. He had his boy
He
running.
only had like half capacity on the trans, didn't he?
Yeah. Delayed a nice pass down for his first time. On
That was his kid, right? That was one of his sons.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the Moore boys, Pack Rat, laid down a first pass on Thursday night. So 3-6 trucks had a rough time. Track was hard on drivetrain.
Happens.
I heard Matt Goodwin put together a pretty killer weekend, huh?
He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Laid it on them both nights.
Nice. I think Doug did fairly well too, didn't he? Second and third?
Third on the afternoon session, second on the evening session. So Esden
Haters
was
will hate, but some of them diesel supers from west of the Mississippi know how to get down.
Esden was second and fourth, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Talking about other young kids driving, Grant Christensen with Nick Christensen's boy drove his first pass at Diagonal, Iowa. I don't know if we ever touched on that, but that was the bar tire 4-wheel drive guys. So that's kind of exciting for him because he's 9, 12, something like that. I forget, but he made his first pass in a truck. So
how badass is that a 12-year-old kid is running a Pro Mod 4x4? Man, my head wouldn't fit through the frickin' door. Not for a month, even if I snuffed it at 150 foot.
That kid, I tell you what, though, that kid has grown up around it for how long, though? You know what I mean? So, and he's grown a foot in the last year. Let me tell you, when you see him from year to year, that kid's grown a foot. He can actually reach the pedals now. So,
well, that's good.
But I'm just saying, it's kind of fun to watch some of them younger kids start getting into that.
Wyatt Schulte got a ride on the Binder Express. It sounds like Sunday too. So
yeah, yep. I saw that pass. He made a good lick. That was a nice pass. Ended up second, I believe.
Yeah.
Like I said, Dean got his first pass in a mod. He was grinning from ear to ear coming through that helmet.
He's usually got a big old grin on his face, but yeah, I can imagine that was pretty big.
Mods will do that to you.
I imagine so. I would imagine so. Well, you've done it.
Yeah, but mine only had one engine on it. I'd like to try it with 4.
But it was
maybe someday you'll get a chance.
Someday.
Saturday night we started at 6:30 and we were done at 8:30. I like shows like that.
Wow, that's moving.
I don't know the hook number, but 40 or 45, 50, something like that.
That's pretty quick. That's pretty quick.
They were short some super farms in the second session. Don't know what happened, but
the end of the year happened.
Yeah, I think 3 pro stocks didn't come back and 2 or 3 diesels. So Kent Payne wasn't able to come back. I think he ate a charger at the end of his first run. So,
but he had it all but locked up going in, didn't he?
I think he just had to hook once.
Yeah.
So
we had a good weekend. We had a good weekend with the Outlaws. Unionville was another good show. Had a few interesting things happen. Mike Novinger kept everybody on his toes by yeeting the hood off of the tractor about halfway down the track. And Lauren Paulson is the reason we can't have nice things in the 4-1 class because, hot internals and, lose a fuel line or a loose fuel line usually ends up kind of fiery. Didn't hurt the tractor, didn't hurt anything, but it looked a lot worse than it was. But, I figured Daly after she congratulated him on doing a good job of driving after being out of the seat for a year, she said, "You're never driving it again."
Yeah, probably.
I could see that happen. I mean, we all know Daly. I think Charles. I don't know if you've met her.
Not in person though.
Quiet until you get to know her. Then she's kind of feisty. And with her old man, 100% feisty all the time. I guarantee you, he was told he could not drive the tractor again for another year. And then the next day in Buckner, shout out to Ken and Trish and Sydney for putting me up at the house at the farmhouse. Had a terrific show, great crowd, lively crowd. Ran through a full boat of MSTPA classes and a good sized chunk of outlaw classes, and I was really impressed at both shows. Both tracks ended up finishing up within about 5 minutes of each other both nights. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. So went through and got 120 hooks, 110 hooks, something like that. It was a good number of hooks. Got him through, no major issues. We talked about Lane earlier. That kid is a stud. He left that, he hung that thing out, and when it went left or went right on him, he got it stopped, and I don't know exactly how much room he had to spare between him and the concrete barrier. I imagine it was less than a foot, but it was he got her stopped, didn't scratch it, didn't hurt it, and by all accounts that I heard, he was not rattled in the slightest. So that was pretty cool. Not that it happened, but the way he reacted, and the way he reacted basically just on instinct. I mean, there's a lot of 16-year-old kids who absolutely wouldn't react that way. No, there's a lot of kids 2 or 3 times his age who wouldn't react that way.
Right.
I'm close to 3 times his age, and I wouldn't react that way. I'd have been scared to death.
Yep.
But, and shout out to whoever was driving that Bungart sled. Got him stopped with a quickness. And, between him and Lane, they saved that tractor, and they saved a chunk of wall at Ken's track, and, kept mom's from going. So lots of photos coming. It'll take a bit, but and I know I owe a few of you some photos. I will get them to you this week, promise. Just be patient, because it's an interesting Iron Week, so that means I need to write some things as well as do all the rest of the things. Plus, maybe record another podcast.
On that note, if you're waiting for pictures from me, I'm so far behind, it's not even funny.
He's so full of crap. He's been watching TikTok all morning long. He hasn't done squat.
I have not, but I'm so far behind. I was just thinking, shoot, I don't even Bedford from last year done.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna cop to that either, but I don't either.
You don't either, yeah.
No, I don't. I've got more of them done than you do, though.
I don't know. I'm in the middle of it. I've only got half of a bar slide left.
I have 4 photos done. They're damn good photos, though. Cole Pedley's first time down the track on the pro stuff was at Bedford last year, and he made a great pass, and I happened to catch a couple of nice shots of it. So,
yeah.
But,
yep.
Doug, where are you off to this weekend?
Madison. I got a Badger game this weekend. Priorities.
Charles, what about you?
Hit the Enderley Saturday, weather permitting, of course, and then Sunday we have our American Legion pull that Andrew and I started years ago.
Right.
So that's coming up, which means Friday night I'm going to go. I have to go through a lot of stuff to make sure we're actually ready, because I'm not just announcing it. I bring the sound system, so I got to make sure it all is going to be working. And if something's not, I guess I'm not going to the Enderley, because I will be going shopping.
Right. Why don't you, since you have the floor, give us the pitch? Let's hear it. You guys started that pull for a reason.
Yeah, it is to benefit that Legion Hall. Like his dad and I think every uncle he ever had is a veteran, a member of that hall. And then while the two of us never served, we get in as Sons of the Legion, and so we joined it years ago. Over time, built a track in the back, and there's plenty of space. We're limited out actually in terms of pit area. We keep trimming classes out because we keep running out of pit space every year. There's plenty of room for the track to be safe, but we keep changing that up, and so there were some more changes again this year. 100% of everything this thing makes, and I don't charge to announce it. I'm not taking anything out of there. It all goes to that Legion Hall for facility improvements and whatever they need to keep it viable and keep it going. Thousands of dollars has been poured into a pavilion in the back for the track and all new bathrooms and whatever else into that facility to keep it going. So, and that's the intended goal year over year is to do that. I think our intent is to start pulling around noon, and we don't have lights, so we go till well past dark. We do the best we can with temporary lighting. I think last year we got done pulling sometime around 11:30 at night, which on a Sunday is pretty late.
Yep.
But again, it's not. This is all for charity. It's all for that Legion Hall. If I got to pull till it's time for me to go to work Monday morning, we'll do it. If it's going to make more money for them, that's all I care about.
And where is it again? Give us the details and all that.
It is at the Smiths Creek American Legion Hall on Smiths Creek Road in Smiths Creek. And let's face it, there's nothing else there, so you will find it. We're due straight west out of Marysville, Michigan, which is just south of Port Huron, right on the very eastern edge, across the river from Marysville's Canada. So you go straight west from there, you will find us.
That works.
Cody, what are you doing this week? You chasing hurricanes or you going pulling?
I'm going pulling in Bedford. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Jason will be.
Are you off the hook as far as hurricanes go this week, or I haven't listened or looked at the weather?
It's supposed to curl north out into the Atlantic, so I don't have to chase hurricanes. So I'm kind of happy. There's some other stuff, but I'm pulling Saturday night in Bedford, so that's kind of like that's a local hometown pull for me. So I'm kind of excited. That's a good track. I mean, it like Brent said, it's a dirt track, so it's kind of a gumbo, but it's like a gumbo that works. I don't know how else to describe it. It's not. I don't know. It's just a tough track, and it's a good show. So
it will take every horsepower you can throw at it, and then some. We've watched it bring a lot of things to their knees. Over the years.
It's a tough track. I mean, it's tight. I mean, that's the thing is like a lot of guys think that like, oh, we're gonna go and pull, and it's just a tight track, and it takes a lot of horsepower, and they do such a fantastic job there that even before it was an outlaw show, I mean they like Brent's got it's 2 tracks and it moves, and it's a good show, and that's there's a lot of quote unquote local shows that take and drag on, but they do such a good job at running that. And with it being an outlaw show and having some of the other classes this year, it'll be fun. So I'm excited. I've only missed one year of this, and I've caught hell every year, but it's my sister's wedding. That was the only year that I've missed so far.
She didn't plan very well.
I told her
it
wasn't my decision, but I told her. So, but yeah, no, it's a good show, and it's one of those that like I don't know. Everyone talks like, oh, we've got a good track, and Bedford's one of those that's like they have a great track. Until you go there and you understand what you're pulling on, it's a good track. It just is. It don't matter. I mean, them boys know how to take care of a track really, really well. So,
and you don't need to take our word for it. Somebody send Jason a message. Ask him what Bedford was like when he pulled there, because that used to be a PPL Western Series show, and it was one of the big shows. And I think back in 2016 or 17 was the last year he was there, and I don't remember if he or Gaffney drove that night, but and we had a monster class of 4-1s. I don't even remember who won. If I had to guess, it was probably one of the Ruth tractors. They all talked about how good that track was. They weren't wrong. That track takes power.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I got to go to bed.
Oh.
I'm out of gas.
fair enough.
That works.
Y'all be good.
Thank you.
Yep. See you
See ya.
guys
Yeah.
next week.